So always fun. Wiebe Wakker comes by with his car back from Australia. How long have you? Is this your car now permanently?
No, I borrowed this from Marcel from Bundles, yeah. And yeah, he's still my hero. Like I had the idea to do this crazy project. I was looking for a car, and there was no car company wanted to help. And then I bumped into him and said, "Sure, why don't you drive my car to the other side of the world?"
But he wanted it back. I mean, it's not okay. So this thing, how many miles have you driven with it, or kilometers?
100,450 km through 34 countries from Holland to the most southern tip of New Zealand.
When you came here for the first time, this was one of the first stops he had, because it was plug me in. I said, okay, come by. You can get electricity. He's getting it now again. Yeah. And you get food. How many stops have you done in the meantime?
About 350. Recently, when I finished my trip, I wanted to send a postcard to everyone who ever hosted me. Yeah. So I've written 350 cards. Okay. And you were also actually the very first one to interview me. Yeah. Really the first one ever. And now you're probably not the last one, but one of the last probably.
Well, I've seen fantastic videos from you. You got a huge amount of publicity. You were in TV programs. You were on media. How much earned media have you got on the road?
Yeah, with my tools, I calculated that I reached almost 1 billion people, which is insane, and it almost sounds like impossible. But like with the finish of my trip, it was like for a day that was like really like global news. It was like featured on like the prime time news on like 40 countries over the world, like including BBC, CNN, NOS Journaal in the Netherlands, and like really the major ones. So that was.
So he basically wanted to know about green and about how many green projects there were. But now you're a total expert on earned media.
Yeah, that's I also give talks about now, and I was just like a student, had the idea to do this, and then I just used minimum tools and basically just good story to tell a story, and that. Yeah, with that I managed to reach a lot of people.
Yeah, 1 billion people, and what was your budget?
Zero, literally zero. Yeah, the first thing I did was I made a trailer of like 90 seconds with a friend of mine, so it was really zero, and started posting that on Facebook groups and blog posts related to sustainability or electric cars, and in the beginning that spread out really well, so that's how it got a bit of attention in the beginning. And then with every country I came getting it more, and then when I was a year and a half on the road and really at the border, there were already like journalists waiting for me to interview me and everything, and it's pretty insane. And at some point in Indonesia, I became somewhat of a celebrity, and like almost every day there was a journalist, and at some points they started to write fake news about me. Like they said the guy who drove to Indonesia is here to visit his wife and 3 children, which I don't have, of course. And one journalist asked me like what's your favorite food, and I said like I don't know, I like chicken satay, and I think like why is he asked it? But then really the headline of the article was like Dutch guy who is here with his electric car, his favorite food is chicken satay. That was like,
oh my god. Yeah, so that's really interesting. So is there something which you've learned from this trip, what normal companies who do not have an exciting trip, but also who want to tell a story and who want to be digital and who want to use the tools which are available for you, but also are available for them? And can you help them to move them to the next step?
Yeah.
Maybe not 1 billion people, but I think most people, most companies, 10 million, they're already quite heavy.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's some points like being very authentic and being passionate about what you're doing. Like if I was not very enthusiastic about electric cars, I think I would have never been able to put off this amount of exposure. Yeah. And just be.
So find that excitement in the firm, at your customers, testimonials. You were very much about testimonials. I said, hey, come on, have Wiebe come get him in his house, and then other people would basically get that. So you need testimonials, you need ambassadors. And also multimedia, the video tools are really easy nowadays. Huh?
Yeah, and it's cheap. Like with just a little bit of knowledge, like with the right tools, very basic tools, you can create like good-looking videos nowadays. and yeah, all the channels you use to distribute are for free. So you can put it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything. And
if you're popular, otherwise you have to pay. Otherwise you have to pay a huge amount of money because nobody will watch it. No, you have to be a little bit.
You really need to have just a good story. Like when I was not well known, I had one video which was about a project I visited in Austria. Created a video about that, and I just posted in some other Facebook groups which had a huge amount of members, and people picked that up. So I went. That video, at the time I had just 1,000 followers, like 1,000. I posted that, and within 6 days I had 1 million views, that video. Now it has about 6 or 7 million views or so. So in like 10 days I went from 1,000 to 25,000 followers on Facebook, and that's how it kept growing. So I really started like from zero and build it like.
And lots of companies can basically use those lessons to basically make their digital imprint and to have that earned media to basically grow in a tremendous way. And you talk about that in your presentations, and you relate that how companies can learn from your experience and use it too.
Exactly, yeah, and it's not about media, but also about inspiration. Like you know, one guy with a crazy idea, like who wanted to travel the world, so I try to inspire people with that. It's also about the sustainable initiatives I visit. So in all the countries and all the areas I visit over the world, I wanted to talk with companies like what's going on in the specific areas in the field of sustainability, and like what innovative solutions are available to tackle the climate problem. And so yeah, get a bit of knowledge about that. So
and he gives fantastic presentation. So if you're interested in digital media, earned media, inspiration, telling stories, and basically making that conversion, then Wiebe Wakker with his electric car is a fantastic presentation. And where can they get more information, and if they want to book you?
The website plugmeinproject.com, or they can just look me up on every social media.
Type in Wiebe. Then he's already there. Yeah, Wiebe Draaier from the Rabobank maybe, but Wiebe and then Wiebe Wakker and Wiebe EV, then you're very easy to find.
Yeah, I'm very easy to reach also. So.
Thank you very much for coming by. Okay, so go book him. He's really great.